After 15 years together, I looked at my wife and said, "Pack your things and leave." The words came out calmer than I expected. Too calm. Almost like I had practiced them silently for years without even realizing it. Maybe I had. We met when I was 25. Back then, love felt simple. She was the kind of woman who could light up a room without saying much. Her name was CLA. She laughed at my stupid jokes, stayed awake with me during nights I couldn't sleep, and somehow made the world feel lighter. We didn't have much, just a tiny apartment and big dreams. That was enough. Or at least it used to be. Somewhere between late nights at work, quiet dinners, and endless scrolling on her phone, something changed. I'd catch her staring off, distant, like she was living in a world parallel to mine. I told myself it was stress. Everyone drifts sometimes. But the truth is, we stopped choosing each other long before I said those words. The real unraveling started small. Missed calls, unanswered messages, excuses that sounded too practiced. I noticed how she locked her phone the moment I entered the room. I noticed the new perfume she said she bought on sale. I noticed the way her laughter changed, softer, forced. And still, I said nothing, because denial is quieter than heartbreak. I remember one night, sitting on the couch, a movie playing faintly in the background. She was texting, smiling at her screen. When I asked what was funny, she said, "Just a meme from work," and flipped her phone face down. I wanted to believe her, but something inside me knew the joke wasn't meant for me anymore. I tried to fix it. God knows I did. I planned a weekend trip to the mountains, just the two of us. I thought maybe if we escaped, we'd find our way back. But even there, she seemed distant, laughing without meeting my eyes. One night, as we sat by the fire, she said, "You've changed." It stung, because she was right. I wasn't the man she fell in love with. I was quieter, heavier with thoughts I never spoke aloud. But she had changed, too. Her warmth had turned into something cold, polished, like a reflection of someone I didn't recognize. The moment everything broke wasn't dramatic. No yelling, no slammed doors, just a quiet morning. She was in the kitchen, humming while scrolling through her phone. I walked in, poured coffee, and saw a notification light up her screen. His name. The message preview read, "Can't wait to see you tonight." I froze. She looked up, saw my face, and went pale. The world didn't explode. It just went silent. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. I set down my cup and said the only thing that felt right. "Pack your things and go." She started crying, saying it wasn't what I thought, that it was complicated. But what she didn't understand was that I had grieved her long ago. That message wasn't betrayal, it was confirmation. Confirmation that the woman I married no longer existed. I didn't yell. I didn't demand explanations. I just stood there, calm and steady, while she packed a bag. She asked if I'd ever forgive her. I said, "I already have," because forgiveness wasn't for her, it was for me. When the door closed behind her, I expected rage, sadness, maybe even relief. But what I felt was nothing. Just a hollow quiet that settled deep in my chest. For the first time in 15 years, the house was mine. That first night alone, I didn't sleep. The silence was deafening. No footsteps, no hum of the hairdryer, no quiet sigh from the other side of the bed. Just me and the ghosts of a marriage I'd been holding together on memories alone. I sat on the couch, scrolling through old photos. There we were at our wedding, her in a lace dress, laughing like everything in the world was perfect. There we were in our first apartment, clutching takeout boxes, because we couldn't afford furniture yet. Every photo told the story of two people who once fought for each other. Somewhere along the way, the fighting stopped, not because we found peace, but because one of us stopped caring. In the morning, I made coffee for one. The ritual felt wrong. I caught myself pouring 2 cups out of habit, then poured hers down the sink. That's when it hit me, how many small routines had been built around her presence. How many pieces of myself had I given away unconsciously just to keep the peace? A few days passed. Friends called, pretending they didn't already know. News spreads fast in small circles. They asked how I was holding up, and I told them I was fine. That's what men say when the truth is too heavy to share. But oddly enough, I didn't feel broken. I felt emptied, like someone had finally opened a window in a smoke-filled room. I started noticing things again. The way the morning light hit the kitchen counter, the soft patter of rain on the roof. It was as if the world quietly reminded me it existed outside of her. She called once, wanting to talk. I didn't answer. I didn't need closure from the person who had shattered it. Sometimes silence says more than words ever could. A week later, I found an envelope in the mailbox. No return address, but the handwriting was hers. Inside was a note. You were always too kind, too patient. I don't deserve forgiveness, but I hope you find peace.
I'm sorry.
I stared at it, then folded it carefully and tucked it into a drawer. I didn't keep it because I missed her. I kept it as proof I had survived her. The following weekend, I cleaned the house from top to bottom. Her perfume still lingered on the curtains. Her hairbrush sat on the bathroom sink. I boxed everything up, even the framed wedding photo on the mantel. When I finished, the house looked bare, but for the first time, it felt honest. That night, I sat on the porch with a beer and watched the sky fade from gold to gray. I thought about the man I used to be, the one who believed love meant endurance, no matter the cost. I realized endurance isn't always noble. Sometimes it's just self-neglect disguised as loyalty. 15 years is a long time to love someone, but even longer to lose yourself in the process. I had been so focused on saving us that I forgot who I was. I won't claim heroism for walking away. I'm not a hero. I simply finally understood that peace doesn't come from fixing someone else. It comes from stopping the bleeding inside yourself. People say time heals everything. I don't think that's true. Time doesn't heal, it only gives space to accept what can't be undone. And in that space, if you're lucky, you rediscover parts of yourself you thought were lost. It's been 6 months now. The bed still feels too big. The mornings are too quiet. But I've learned to fill the silence differently. I cook. I read. I take walks without checking my phone. I've learned solitude isn't loneliness, it's recovery. Sometimes I think of her, not with anger anymore, but with a strange kind of gratitude. Losing her forced me to find myself. That's the thing about endings. They don't always come with closure. Sometimes they come with clarity. And when I told her, pack your things and go, I wasn't just asking her to leave. I was finally allowing myself to stay.